about the transfer portal and having an opportunity to get better. How do you feel you guys got better?
I thought our staff actually did a great job of getting in the portal. Our focus was going to be on experienced guard play and post play. And we signed 3 guards out of the portal that had good experience, so we really feel that we're got more depth and more talent at the guard position. And then in the post, we knew Meg was coming back, which was great, but then we were thin there with numbers. So, signed Michelle Ojo, Justice Odom, and Faith Okwori to just help us solidify in the paint. Yeah, so I really feel good about what our staff was able to get done in the portal. We got in there late, just based on when the thing opened, but thought our staff did a really good job of getting players.
Hi,
Peyton?
I'm Peyton, yes. I work with the DePaul. So with Meg Newman and Kate Clark being out for the start of the season, what do you plan to do without them?
So I mentioned Michelle Ojo. So Michelle has done a tremendous job of I don't want to say stepping in because she's been competitive from the get-go. Not Kate, but Meg has been out for a while now. So Michelle Ojo, Justice Odom, Faith Okwori have been competing in that post position. Given our situation, you're looking at us kind of playing with one big, which we traditionally do. Last year was a little different with Meg and Jory playing a ton, but Michelle Ojo will get to start tomorrow, and is a really active player. She's great, long on-ball defender. We expect her to rebound a lot. We expect to have her paint presence, to be active and aggressive, posting up. So she's done a great job of coming in, working hard. She's an unbelievable young woman just in her approach to the game, and just how good of an individual she is. She was recently, I don't know if you guys saw this, but she was recently named a K-Yow Servant Leader recipient, and that just kind of says it all. She's a great young woman, yeah.
And do you have a starting lineup ready for tomorrow?
We do. I just told the team, but I also told them it could change by tomorrow. So, who you would anticipate, well, you guys weren't at our close scrimmage, but at the point guard position, you're looking at Elena West, and then Allie Tim and Ajanique Mayo in the wings. So you talked about Kate Clark. So Allie Tim is having a great early part of the season, and so she's going to get the nod there for Kate Clark. And then Kate Novick, who we've talked about in the past, and Michelle Ojo. And again, no, Peyton, that could change by tomorrow, and it's not intended, it's not like a threat to the players. It's because we have good guard play, and there's not a lot of difference in these guards and their abilities. And that's a great thing because you're going to see all of them. So whether one starts or the other one starts, right now I don't think it really matters, but we've got some really good guard depth, and I think you'll see us utilize all of them.
Hi, Coach. My name is Natalie Chivi. I'm from 24/7 Sports. I guess I want to start off with an overall question, very generic, very easy. What are your main goals for this team for the upcoming season?
We've kind of chiseled it down to one goal: to finish in the top 4 in the Big East and to be in the conversation for postseason play. That's our overall big goal. Yeah.
You mentioned you had a close scrimmage. You got an open exhibition tomorrow. You guys have been pretty much practicing with each other. It's good to play another team. Is 2 exhibition games enough? Would you like to see more, like in the future? How do you feel about just only having 2 before you start the year?
Well, I think the players, honestly, Nick, like 2 weeks into it, I think the players already think they're ready to play games. I think two is a good number. I like the fact that the NCAA rules changed and you can allow a public scrimmage. You can play a Division I opponent. So I think that's good in preparation for the season. I mean, coaches might think they always want a few more to get ready because the ability to play someone different than yourselves or some of the male practice players is just different, and it's good for the players, and I think it gets them pretty excited to play. But I think 2 games is a good number, and then boom, we kick it off on November 4th, and then we'll go. So.
Hi, Coach. Peter George, women's basketball reporter for the DePaul. You kind of mentioned this already, but obviously you want to have all your players healthy going into the season. But when you don't, that means that you can get players into different situations and see where they strive and see where they might need help. So what are you guys looking forward to early in the season, figuring out who your team is and who these different players can become?
Well, yeah, you certainly always want your team at full strength, but we established early when we did have everybody that there was going to be some good competition in the forward position, at these guard positions, and at the point guard position. So that was established early. I think the team identified the fact that we had added depth, we had more talent in some of those spots, so that there was going to be a lot of competition. And you talk to your players always about just being ready to play. And whoever's going to go out there and start, okay, those guys are going to start, but then the next one just has to be ready, you know. And you want players being mentally prepared in every game to be ready to get out on the court. So really, Peter, it's like I've told the ladies that we'll never use any of these injuries as excuses for how our team's going to play. So everyone always has to be ready. So this is no different. You know, Kate just recently went out, but everyone already needs to be ready to play. So it's just going to be an opportunity to certainly get some more minutes, maybe for a larger number of players. In our close scrimmage, you know, we had 9 players play over double minutes, and I thought that was good. But then in terms of what we're looking for, I mean, we want to be competitive right out of the blocks, you know, and that's we want to be able to set the tone early with our style of play, and you know, experience success early.
With Kate Novick at her previous stop, almost 4 assists a game, 5 assists a game. What allows her to get an assist? Like, what characteristics allow a guard to get an assist?
Well, you know, there's always more than one thing involved in getting an assist, right? Besides the fact you have to make a basket after you catch it, you got to get open to be able to catch it, and then the ball handler has to see who's open and deliver the ball on time and on target. So there's a lot going on to get one assist. But Kate has great vision. So she sees the floor, she's got great vision, and she has a great ability to pass. You know, some players might be able to see that somebody's open, but can't get the ball to them. Kate has a great ability to pass. She's also very unselfish. So she's wanting to get that assist. You know, she's wanting to give the ball to a teammate. She's a great unselfish teammate, but it's really just her vision and her ability to pass. And like I said, we're continuing to work hard to get open, read screens. The ball handler has to be able to read the screen also, and then just deliver the ball on time and target. And I think you might have seen her a little bit in practice, but you're going to really enjoy watching Kate Novick play.
Okay, Coach Laura with the DePaul. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Charge Club and like how you're going to we have 2 returners. You have Summer Lee, your last year's Charge Queen. So I want to talk a little bit about how that builds community within the team, and how do you incentivize your players to go for the charge?
Right. So we started the Charge Club, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and it was just something we created to try to bring some attention to the importance of earning charges. And in the women's game, a charge is one of the most, you know, it's a really exciting thing. It can be a momentum shifter, you know, when you draw a charge. And at the end of very close games, drawing a charge can be just huge to securing a victory, to getting a victory. So really just bring excitement about it. When someone gets a charge, it's about getting excited about it. I mean, and when we first started it, it was probably primarily like the coaches really getting excited, but now if you watch a game, you see our whole team gets excited, and the player who earned the charge gets very excited. But you have to have 3 charges to officially get in the club. You put your application in after your first one, and there's no actual paperwork. This is just, I just call it that. Application, number 2, application's pending, you know, and then boom, you get in the charge, and you get in the charge club, and then we just track, you know, your 4th one, your 5th one, your 6th one, and we want a healthy competition about earning charges. And I am anticipating that we'll have some good competition there.
Yeah, Meg mentioned the locker room and like putting up the picture of the charge. What's the environment like when like the team posted that picture in the locker room? And she described it as a shrine at the end of the year, like a shrine to charges. So what's that atmosphere like in the locker room?
Well, you know, in the past, we would just put up, you know, Q1, Valpo, 11-4 for the date, you know, and put what happened. It was a drive, it was off a help, it was on ball, whatever. And then last year I said, let's put a picture up. So we tried to catch the player in action, and the ladies enjoyed that, And then if it's going to be important to you as a coach, you have to give it the proper amount of attention. And that's why we have the charge board, and then we have the list, and we talk about it, And that's, I think, like I said, when the Tide, well, you guys, again, the Tide drew a charge the other day and was as excited as she could be. And that's what we want, And like I said, I think in a game, especially in women's basketball, it can be a big momentum shifter.
Tomorrow's Blue Madness, there'll be a good crowd on hand. What's your message to the DePaul community to get that crowd to translate to Wintrust?
I think they're going to, we're trying to play up-tempo. And people like to see the ball go in the net. People like to see up-tempo basketball more so than not. So we want to be able to play our style and just create a lot of excitement by sharing the basketball, making buckets, and then certainly showing on the defensive end of the floor that we're going to be fierce and resilient and get after people. And I think people will enjoy our style, and then we're trying to make a more intentional effort to be in the Lincoln Park community and the South Loop, and just if people get to know our players. We've had some season ticket holders come to a practice or people who support our program. When they get to know our players, Nick, then I'm confident they're going to come and watch them at Wintrust. And we want to really try to get with the student body. Last year, our student attendance went up quite a bit, but we want to, it was awesome at the guys' game the other day, 700 students. It was just a great atmosphere. So I want to just have our students get out more in their own community and get more students to the game. But I think our style of play and just watching our ladies, I think it's going to carry over to Wintrust, and then winning games is always a big factor in that.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. My next question for you is, how do you plan to adapt your strategies to compete in an increasingly competitive Big East Conference?
We have a way we want to play, all right? We want to get up and down. In some cases, you have to adjust your game plan and figure out the best way to put your team in the best position to get a victory. And that's, at some point you gotta guard, you gotta rebound. I think one of our biggest challenges will be really establishing ourselves in the paint. We haven't been able to practice with Meg yet, so that still, kind of remains to be seen here a little bit. But establishing ourselves in the paint, I think, will be one of our bigger challenges. But the Big East Conference is very competitive. Connecticut has certainly earned their spot at the top. They're ranked #1 in the country. We really look forward always to the opportunities of competing against Connecticut. But then I think you're going to see in the Big East 2 through 11, and I really mean 2 through 11, is going to be night in and night out, very competitive. And we talked to the team about this already, because we certainly, they had the preseason poll. Don't give a lot of thought to the preseason poll, but we got to be ready every night. If we're ready every night, I think we could compete with anybody in the league. But you got to be ready every night, and then you got to execute game plan, and like what games do, they can come down to free throws. It can come down to taking a charge in the last minute of a game, So I think what you're going to see is an extremely competitive Big East 2 through 11, though. I think it's going to be. You better be ready to go every night.
Yeah, and you talk about the chemistry between everybody on the team and the atmosphere, and how it's very positive and very kind of reinforcing, not just from you, but from the players to each other. But what excites you the most about the potential of this team?
I love the fact that we've got some good guard depth, and we have guards who could shoot the ball. So I love the fact that we've got a larger group of players who are going to be able to get up and down and shoot the ball, and they like playing fast. It requires a lot of work, and you got to, if you're going to play that way, you got to practice that way. So it's very physically demanding for them day in and day out. But they like the freedom that we give them out on the court, and a simplistic, if you're open, shoot it. If you're not open, share it mentality just gives their brain some freedom also to not have to worry about, should I shoot this or not? If you're open, you shoot it. If you're not open, you share it. And And I know that they enjoy that freedom and just kind of the simplicity of that philosophy.
Definitely. And you talked about 2 through 11 being day in, day out. Other than Connecticut, obviously, what teams are you most excited to match up again?
We're going to be excited when we go up against any Big East team. So, I mean, you saw the early poll. You know, they've got Marquette, Seton Hall, St. John's, Creighton. You know, but honestly, Laura, we're going to be excited when we get to go out on the court, regardless of who we're playing in the Big East, and we're going to know that we have to be ready to play and at the top of our game to give ourselves an opportunity to come out with a W.
Doug's non-conference schedule philosophy was always schedule hard because that prepares you for Big East play. How much are you looking to just kind of continue scheduling hard non-conference opponents?
Yeah, right now, so I don't know, like our non-conference schedule last year was one of the toughest in the country. Like I think it ended up getting graded out maybe 19th in the country. And our team, I don't think was quite ready for that schedule. So we have a little bit of a little bit more of a combination this year. We've got some really top 25 kind of games. And then we've got some games that we think we're going to be more, just competitive in, and knowing we still have to be at the top of our game to get a win. But I think you've got to put your non-conference schedule together with your team in mind going into that following year. And what's hard with putting your game schedule together, like our game schedule for next year is 75% done. So in this day also where your team has the ability to change late in the year, your schedule is pretty much done by the time you go into the portal, So that's just game scheduling. But yeah, we want to get tested, going to UNLV, going to Princeton, playing Michigan State at home. Those are going to be huge tests for us. And we definitely want to get tested early to get ready for Big East play. And Big East schedule this year starts December 4th. So it comes quick.
Yeah, and speaking of transfer portals, you've got a lot of new players coming up, and I wanted to ask you about what qualities you're looking for in the returners to pass on to these newer players.
Well, we talk about the culture of our program, and we want to be compassionate, competitive people who are interested in helping the community. So it's more like our overall culture is to be competitive individuals, help our community, and be good people. And our mission statement about we want to have competent, compassionate women of character who lead boldly. I mean, that's part of the DePaul mission. We want to teach our players how to lead in all arenas of life. So in their homes, at their workplace, in their community. So when we choose to do things as a program, we're hoping to expose them to those types of areas, to help in the community, to be good people, to make sure we're talking about what that means. So that's what the returners, that's been established, and I want the returners to always impart that on the players coming in. And academically, I just want to mention, last year academically we finished 7th in the country in grade point average, and us succeeding in the classroom is always a big priority for us also.
Thank you.
Kind of going off of that, obviously you yourself are a former assistant coach here, and you have assistant coaches on your staff who are former players here. When you're talking about team culture and building that kind of connectivity, how intentional is it to have people who've been in each other's,
It was, yes, Peter, it was very intentional. It's a great question. It was very intentional. Having Ashton Millender on staff, understanding the culture, being here in some of our most successful years. Jessica January, I was just delighted that she was retiring and wanted to get into coaching. We had been keeping in touch over recent years to just help her navigate the coaching profession, and to be able to have those two young women on our staff who have been here. They've been to Sweet 16s. They know how we play and what that means every day. They're great on the court with our student athletes. They're great when we meet with them in the office. And then also, having Bradley Bruno on staff, just having, again, the experience of how we want to play, having been here in some of our best years, and just knowing what it takes to be successful.
How are you feeling heading into tomorrow's game?
I'm excited to watch our team play. Just excited to see how we respond. They did a great job last weekend, but now it's another test. There's a couple different things to look at more against Milwaukee than last Sunday. So just excited to see how we're ready to go.
We have time want to take with you to the entirety of the season to like use as a motto for you, your coaching staff, and the team? What would it be?
You know, we have some core values in our program, which is fierce, resilient, disciplined, compassionate, and unselfish. And that's how we want to play. That's how we want to be. So we don't have a mantra for the season, but we talk about our core values on a daily basis. Not necessarily daily, but we talk about our core values. So I would say that. Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
All right. Thanks, you guys.